Today is the 26th Sunday of Ordinary Time, Cycle B. Are you walking in the ways of the Lord and still struggling? Maybe God is forming you for a special assignment or a mission. It was in the harshness of the desert that the people of Israel learned to depend and trust in God. Every time there was a crisis, God came to their rescue. Dependence and trust in God and knowledge of His laws and precepts are important, but they are not sufficient for leadership in the church. The gift of the Holy Spirit is necessary for our spiritual formation. The Holy Spirit was not given only to Moses, but also to the other 70, the elders of Israel. Although two of the elders were not physically present on the mountain, they also received the Spirit and were able to prophesy. Because their names were on Moses' list of the elders. This story has some similarities to the healing of the centurion's servant by Jesus. Although the servant was not present to Jesus, he was still cured by God's healing spirit. We can cry out to God's help wherever we are. His healing spirit or helping spirit will come to us wherever we are. St. James in his letter is addressing the greedy and dishonest rich who became rich by cheating the poor and the lowly workers. He warns them that they will be severely punished by God. What can I do if I have become rich by dishonest means? You can make restitution by helping the poor or your church. Please note that if you are rich and became so by honest means, it is not a sin, as some politicians may claim, but we do have a greater responsibility to help the needy. When the disciple John noticed that someone who was not a follower of Jesus, using Jesus' name to drive out demons and to cure the sick, he told Jesus to stop him. Jesus' answer was that anyone who is doing good deeds in his name is working for him. We are therefore called to support our other Christians in their endeavors to help the poor and the lowly. Jesus tells us that anyone whose kind deed is to simply give a cup of water to a disciple in need of a drink will be greatly rewarded. Those who call others to sin shall be punished severely in Gehenna, or hell, on the day of judgment. Matthew has a more colorful picture of hell, which he is also called Gehenna. It is where the worm never dies and the fire is not quenched. It is compared to a garbage dump where the refuge is burning along with rotten food and full of maggots. Do we cause others to sin? What are some examples? Seduction is a serious sin, where we use power or wealth or good looks or charm or all of the above to entice another into adultery or fornication. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. We should never advise another to return evil for evil, especially when revenge calls for serious bodily harm. People who are hurting from broken relationships are normally desperate for solutions. To encourage them to seek help through the occult, Santeria, voodoo, obeah, is a grave sin. The worst sin of all is probably encouraging and aiding someone to obtain an abortion. Using what is called the Semitic hyperbole, an exaggeration, Jesus asks us to take radical steps to avoid sin. His advice is not literal. He is not urging self-mutilation, which is a sin. To pluck out your eye, to cut off your hand. Jesus is demanding radical change in our lives. For example, if you just completed a drug rehabilitation program, you would have to stop spending time with your dear friends, childhood friends, if they are still users. If you are addicted to pornography on the internet, you may have to terminate your home internet service and find a service provider that blocks all pornography. The road of conversion will demand radical, difficult, and painful choices. According to Padre Pio, the most beautiful acts of faith is the one made in darkness, in sacrifice, and with extreme effort.